Here, I'll show you the really ones that you're looking for. What?
Oh, you got the cool ears.
I'll trade you. No, patch on the shoulder right here. You need this one. You need the 3. Yeah.
I bet it's gonna like
this patch right here.
For
the one with the. There you go. There's one.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's our hydrocortisone thing.
Hydrocortisone. Schneider, you need some of that.
Pass this around, take a look at it.
Got any itchy spots?
You
didn't take this.
Yeah, don't smoke too much right now.
We're just supposed to keep on passing.
Do you want me to take this stuff and stick it in the car?
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, your itchy mosquito bite.
Alright, I'm going in for the meeting.
Are we supposed to pass this around? Or are we
Pass it around. Pass it around.
pass this around, especially this medical form.
As I was saying, at the Jamboree, the patches were a huge deal. People would spend like, I kid you not, every day they would sit out on this road about a mile stretch from the main camp, like this main area. So where from the northern people, there's 4 or 5 major councils in the United States. There's the Northwest, or there's Central, Northwest, Southeast, and then there's West. And pretty much the north people, from an area down, there was a road where everything kind of took place, and from there on down there was just hundreds of trade patches, which you can see here. I wasn't really big into the patch trading, but there was kids who'd spend their entire, literally, I kid you not, almost their entire Jamboree out on blankets and in chairs and in tents trading these patches. Ours, you can kind of see ours. There's one right there. I'll take off my shirt and show you on my back. There's one on the shirt I'm wearing. Yeah. So here's the map. You can take a look at that. I circled where we were. The area that Bill and Scott worked at was down kind of in this area, which is called the Thomas Road. That's the area I was talking about. Like almost that entire road from this like area 10 here was just nothing but patch traders. Pioneering is where they worked. And another thing to notice is that AT&T was a huge sponsor, so it's just kind of something funny to notice. So here, pass this around, be careful. This is in my pocket the entire camp. Take it, take a look at it.
Oh yeah, I'm full-handed. Google won't stop handing me stuff.
Okay, so another thing that was kind of big was different areas and stuff. I'll show it to you here. I'll send this around. So there was things you could do to get these little patches that you put around. I only completed 2 of them. There was these, which were activity ones, and then there was 2 kind of other one, or 3 other ones. One was called the Mysterium Compass, which was just an area you'd go into, and it was run by the OA. It was kind of interesting. I never got around to going to it. I only heard about it at the end of camp because it was supposed to be a secret. Here's activities. You're supposed to get like 8 of them to actually get one, and some areas was divided up into subsections. So in an area like buckskin, you had to do 4 of them just to get 1 stamp, and you needed 8 stamps to get a patch. But if you did air rifle, that was just 1 stamp there, if you get how that works. So some areas were subdivided to get the stamp. But nobody really got all of them. I came close in activities. And then there was also another activity called the Outback area, which was the really kind of out there. They had everything from mountain boarding, swimming, hiking, you know, the regular scouting stuff. Mountain boarding? No, that's an interesting.
Oh, that's classic. It's like a big skateboard with really big tires.
Yep, he has it right there.
It's like snowboarding.
Oh, yeah. And they brought out they brought out the best of everyone and anyone related to scouting in any way. So yeah, that map's been with me everywhere. As you can see, the only ones I did was the God to Me, the 5K run, which I did in my scout uniform. So yeah, if anyone ever asks if you can do a 5K in your scout uniform, you can, in hiking boots. And then here's the other ones I did, which was the activities. Now those were kind of interesting. Those were areas you could go to. So there was one called the American Heritage, or American Indian Village. That was really fun. I think you saw it on the map there. It was kind of underneath the Armed Forces Adventure area. And down in that area, they had this like little Native American village. The strange thing was there's this Lewis and Clark area, which I swear we've all seen before. If you've ever been to the Bismarck exhibits, anybody here done that? Lewis and Clark? Oh, anybody awake? Yeah. Another area that was kind of interesting was K2 BSA, and I have it right here. Yeah, that's right. In a single day, one day, you can get your technician license. If you went back and take the same test, because you can continue to take tests in the same day, you can also get your general license. I did not get my general license because time ran out, but I did, in fact, get a regular license, and my number now is Kilo Delta 0.
Just skip the phonetic alphabet.
Mike November.
Say the letters.
It's KD0MMN, so Katomon. I didn't actually get to choose, but very cool. Other one I got to do was Merit Badge Midway, which was where I got my citizenship in the world. I got almost all of it done except for a requirement where I had to go home and talk with my dad. But they had quite literally 103 merit badges plus that you could have done. They had Army technicians teaching welding. They had people from the United States Mint teaching the coin collecting. They had everything imaginable out there, and every kind of like professor or anything that pertained to the actual subject and the best thereof. You know, there was some exceptions, but there was a national exhibit that was interesting. I got to meet an actual lone scout. Never met one of those. I thought that was interesting. And they had a scouting museum. I got to see most of the like scout books, every like book ever made pretty much, and it was the Museum of Scouting. Another last interesting area was Technology Quest. If you see here, they're not working, but in direct sunlight, these are radiation, so they're reverse of glow in the dark, so in the light, they get brighter. It's just an interesting concept. But and also here, I got this one from NASA, and if my hat's around here somewhere, I can show it to you. But yeah, at different areas you can pick up pins and so forth and everything, and patches. Some like the Coast Guard patch, or I have it right here. This one was for Technology Quest. And here, so I walked over to the NASA area. They handed out a lot of stuff, but on my lanyard here, it's, if you can take a guess at it, it's actually the birth and death of a universe. So here you have the star cluster, blue star, white star, yellow star, orange star, red star, and then you have two options, which is a black hole or it gets reformed. And there is other things like a brown dwarf, a white dwarf, and a bunch of other little things in there. But it was an interesting exhibit, and you got to meet the person in charge of the NASA rover program, Opportunity and our Spirit and Freedom, or Spirit and Opportunity. I can't remember right now, but still, it's one of those things you don't get to see. I'll pass this around too. This is from the conservation area. You get a little patch for completing it. It was probably one of the most colorful and one of the larger patches to wherever those ran off to. The reason that they were hard to come by is you had to do 10 of the areas, but it was probably one of the funner areas to go to. On these, I didn't like doing these because they were mostly stuff I could have done at a summer camp. So I went off and did the things that you couldn't do at a regular summer camp, like Technology Quest, the environmental area, and then the Armed Forces Recruiting Center was possibly one of the funnest areas. You get to meet, well, it's not big for people who don't want to join the military, but it was big for anybody who's ever interested in the military. And even then some, because they had people from Civil Air Patrol, the Coast Guard, the artillery, just about everyone you could imagine, and then some, and then stuff. I got to actually play around with one of the most advanced pieces of scouting equipment in the United States military. It was a scout location rangefinder with a thermal, heat-seeking, or heat-finding, and also depth range and advanced night vision built into it. Yeah, it actually was a really big deal, and it's one of those things where it's one of the first times it actually got unveiled to the public, and it was just pretty much just like a giant little machine, and they were talking about how, like, oh, the guy in charge of it said that a lot of people using it are just, you know, in the military, and then one of the things you have to be is like an officer to use that stuff, and then one of the things you can do to help get your way to your officer is be a Boy Scout. Alright, moving along, here's actually from the Armed Forces Adventure area. I didn't do all of them, but it's kind of strange because on the last day they just started throwing out the patch, so I literally got it just handed to me. And also if you look here on my lanyard, everybody loved these, and I got this one thrown at me by some random girl standing next to Sergeant Slaughter, famous wrestler from the early like 70s. So Sergeant Slaughter, yep. I have it in here. Take a look at this. Here's all the people I saw. God, who were they on stage? It was Jeff Gordon.
Yeah,
oh wow.
or
not Bill Jr. Bill Jr. They didn't sign or anything, but they stood on stage. So take a look around at those and see who actually showed up. You could have gone fishing with some other famous people. National Guard had a huge presence there. Of anybody there, the National Guard, followed by AT&T, and maybe even actually those were probably the biggest people there. So.